Hello, my dear learners. How are you all? Yes, I, Nirupma Gupta, your learning coach, welcome you all to my channel English English. Yes, today we'll be discussing poem number 3 of Hornbill, and that is The Voice of the Rain. So, are you all set and ready? Good. So, the poem has been written by Walt Whitman, and it's a very beautiful poem. The poet imagines his conversation with the rain. Let's see what the poet wants to say. The poem is an imaginary dialogue between the poet and the rain. Uh, you can say the poet and the rain talk to each other. So it can't be real. So it's an imaginary conversation. The poet casually asks the rain who it is, who the rain is. The poet asks it. And surprisingly, the rain replies. Yes, poet says, to my surprise, the rain not only answers to my question, but also tells about its birth, the whole path, and the end. And the more surprising thing is, the poet understands to what the rain says. And after talking to rain, he tells us what it said and in our language. In English, he narrates his conversation with the rain. So, would you like to know what conversation they had? Yes, I'm sure you all are interested. So let's have an overview of the poem, The Voice of the Rain. Yes. The poet asks the gentle rain who she is, or you can say, in the exact words of the poet, he asks, who art thou? Means, who are you? Right? The poet asks the gentle rain. Why has the poet said gentle rain? Because at that time, the rain was falling very gently. It was not a heavy rainfall, right? And the voice word poet has used because it has spoken to the rain. Otherwise, we say the sound made by the rain or the noise of the rain, right? But here, as the poet tells us that the rain has replied in human voice, so he says the voice of the rain, right? And surprisingly, the rain replies to the poet, and that too in human voice, right? She tells the poet about its whole journey, about its birth and the journey and the end of it, right? And the poet translates it for us into English. The rain says that she is the song of the earth, and the earth is her birthplace and hence her mother, right? He says that the rain replies that I am the song of the earth, means the earth enjoys me, right? And the earth is my birthplace. So, whosoever gives you birth is your mother. And the same way, the rain says that the earth is my mother. Further, she says that she is born out of the water bodies on the earth, such as the sea, the river, and the landforms. Right? She says that I am born. How the rain is born? She describes about her journey. While on land, on the earth, it is in liquid form. It is lying in the form of sea, the river, or on the land. The land is also moist, so it also has water. So it is lying in the form of liquid. Then the water evaporates, and in the form of vapor, it rises upward. Once there, she changes into dark clouds which cannot be touched. Once the vapors reach the sky, their form change. They become clouds. And you know how clouds change their form. Clouds तो कैसे अपनी shape बदलते रहते हैं ना. So they change their shape once they are reached to the sky. Now there it cannot be touched also. These vapors and these clouds, they cannot be touched because you can't see the water vapors moving upwards, so they can't be touched. It stays in the sky for a short while and then falls down in the form of rain. What happens when the vapors reach to the sky? They change into clouds, and the clouds can't stay for long there. They have to fall down because they can't hold water in them. So it follows the cycle of birth, growth, return, and finally reaches to its original place. So what is the cycle of the rain? It is born, it grows, it moves upwards, and then finally comes back to its origin. What is its original place? The earth. In this process, it provides water to the drought prone areas to beautify and purify the earth. So, the journey Rain has described, and it says that in this journey, what I do, I give water to the areas which have been lying dry for long, and I purify and beautify the earth. You all know in rainy seasons, have you ever noticed that when the rain falls down, what happens to the trees and plants and the earth? They all become clean. The trees and plants start shining green, and everything becomes pure, clean, and becomes beautiful too because the seeds germinate. It says it provides life to the seeds inside the earth and helps them grow. The seeds which have fallen from the trees have been lying for long, and when the rain falls there, they germinate and they start growing. You can imagine, when we grow some plants, we water them every day, but who goes to water the trees and plants which are in the forests? कोई भी नहीं चाहता ना जंगल में पानी देने के लिए. So who irrigates them? Only the rainfall. And the seeds which have been lying there for long, they too germinate. Had the rain not fallen, they would have never germinated, right? Hence, it fulfills the purpose of its birth. So, what has been the purpose of the rain? To provide water to the dry areas, to beautify and purify the earth, because earth is her origin. It is the rain's mother, right? Hence, it fulfills the purpose of its birth, its chain of duties, and returns to the earth lovingly in water. And in the form of water, it comes back to its origin. Moreover, it doesn't at all bothers whether its services are needed or not. वो कहते हैं ना नेकी कर और कुएं में डाल, isn't it? It fulfills. It does so many things. It provides a moisture to the dry areas. It provides water to the dry areas, to the forests, and to those seeds which had been lying dry for so long, and also purifies and beautifies the earth. But does not bother whether anyone appreciates its services or anyone has noted its services at all. So it does its duty during its journey, right? So it's, isn't it, the, as I said, the poem is very beautiful. and I'm sure you might have all liked the summary. So it's time now to go through the poem. So all get ready. I'm going to recite the poem and you all will definitely enjoy. So the title is The Voice of the Rain. Listen to how the poem is to be recited, taking care of all the punctuation marks and intonations, right? And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower, which, strange to tell, gave me an answer, as here translated. I am the poem of earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise, impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea, upward to heaven, whence, vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. I descend to lave the draughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin and make pure and beautified. For song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love returns. So, this is a small poem for you all. Now, what before explaining the poem to you all, what I want is to understand the expressions which I feel are new to you. Let's go through those expressions first. Who art thou? Who you all know. Art, you may connect it with art class or something like that, but no. Here, art means are, and thou means you. So, who art thou means who are you? Clear? Eternal. Eternal is something which keeps continuing, is always in progress, continuously goes on, हमेशा जो चलता रहता है, that is called eternal, which never ends, which is always in progress, which always continues, right? Impalpable, something which cannot be touched. Impalpable I rise in the forms of water. How can you touch it when you can't see it? Isn't it? Whence, from where? Vaguely, which has no shape, which has no proper shape. So this word has been used for clouds. Descend, fall down. Ascend, upward, move upward. Descend, fall down. So now you know the opposite of descend also. Ascend, descend. Atomies, very small particles. Latent, inside hidden inside the earth, right? This had been used for seeds. Wrecked, cared for, noticed. Unwrecked, unnoticed. Naturally, unwrecked is the opposite of wrecked. Duly, rightly. Duly, rightly. So now we move on to the poem once again, because now you know certain expressions and now it will be very easy for you all to understand the poem, right? And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower. Remember one thing, that this is an imaginary conversation between the poet and the rain, right? This is all poet's imagination. So he says, I in the first line is for the poet. He says, I asked the gentle rain, soft falling shower, मतलब हल्की हल्की बारिश से, I asked, मैंने पूछा, and who art thou? Who are you? And he says, very strangely, the rain replied to my answer, which I have translated for you all. कहता है कि कमाल की बात है, मैंने तो पूछा ही, लेकिन बारिश ने भी मेरी बात का जवाब दिया. जो कि मैं आपको इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट करके बता रहा. So the rain replied, I am the poem of earth, said the voice of the rain. She says that I am the poem of earth. See, the poet has used the voice of the rain because the rain spoke to him in human voice. इंसानों की तरह ही रेन ने उससे बात की, तो voice word has been used. He says, the rain replied, I am the poem of earth, means I am the song of the earth. Eternal I rise, impalpable. Eternal, which keeps continuing. Impalpable, which cannot be seen or touched. See, we went through those meanings. So the rain says, always I rise unnoticed and untouched from the land, out of the land and the sea, all the water bodies and the land, wherever there is some moisture. It moves upwards in the form of vapor. Upward to heaven. Where does it move? To upwards. And when once they have reached there, all the vapors, when they have reached there, they are vaguely formed, vaguely, which has no proper shape. So their form is not definite because the clouds keep on changing their shape. So while on the land, it was lying in the form of water. When it moved upward, it moved in the form of vapor. And now, once it is reached up to the sky, it has changed its shape. Now it is in the form of clouds. And yet the same. But the quality of water has not changed. Its shape has changed, but the quality has not changed. So the poet has specifically mentioned over here, and yet the same. I descend to lave the draughts. Descend means fall down, lave means wash. So I descend to lave the draughts. Draughts are the dry areas. So I fall down to give water to the dry areas, to wash the small particles, dust layers of the globe. Wherever there is dust, the rain washes it away. And all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. He says that the rain told me that had I not fallen down, all these seeds would have lied hidden in the earth and would have never germinated. कभी पैदा ही नहीं हो पाते, जर्मिनेट अंकुरित ही न होते अगर बारिश वहां पर ना गिरती तो. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin and make pure and beautify it. See, the rain says that this process goes on day and night, and I give back life to my origin. From where I was born, I return back. And in this journey, what I do, I make things pure and beautify them. Right? For song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love return. So the rain says that in this process, in this journey, I fulfill my duties. I fulfill the responsibilities, and the duties are to provide water to the dry areas, to provide water to the seeds which were lying unborn, to wash away the globe, to beautify it, to purify it. This is the chain of duties of the rain. इसको क्या क्या काम करना है? सूखे एरियाज को पानी पहुंचाना है, जहां जहां पर भी डस्ट है उसको धो डालना है, जहां पर ग्रीनरी है उसको क्लीन कर देना है, जहां पर सीड्स ऐसे ही पड़े रह जाते उनको पैदा होने में मदद करनी है. एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट इज the rain does its duties, but it is not at all bothered ki whether anyone is noticing my work, whether anyone is appreciating my work. not bothered at all. Just it has to do its duties, it has to fulfill the work which has been assigned to it, and then comes back to its origin and then again moves upwards, and this process goes on day and night, eternal, the poet has used. So I'm sure now the poem is very clear to all of you. So, and isn't it very interesting? Yes, of course, it is very interesting. Now we move on to our favorite multiple choice questions, and this will help you in uh, checking yourself whether you all have understood the poem or not, right? So quickly we go through them. And my favorite first question, now you must be noticing it. The first question is, name the poem and the poet. So because I want you all to have on your tips all the 5 poems of your syllabus with the names of the poets. The moment the poem's name is taken, you just know that this is the poet, right? Let's see the options. The Lebanon Top by Walt Whitman, Photograph by Walt Whitman, The Voice of the Rain by Walt Whitman, Childhood by Walt. See, the options are a bit confusing. So we have talked about what? The Voice of the Rain, and the poet is Walt Whitman. So the option is very clear, and it is option C. Yes, the next question is, the poem is a conversation between, you all know that, I know. Rain and trees, rain and mountains, rain and birds, poet and rain. So, who two were talking to each other? The poet and the rain. So, option D is the correct option, right? Now, the next question is, what does the poet ask the gentle rain? The poem begins with that question. So, this might be very, very clear to all of you. Who are you? Where are you? How old are you? What is your name? Not to look at other options. And the correct option is option A. Who are you? Yes. What does the rain reply to the poet's question? Who are you? What does she say? She says, I am rain, I am the song of the earth, I am the song of the mountains, I am the song of the birds. Yes, she says, I am the poem of the earth or the song of the earth. They are just one and the same thing. So, option B is the correct option. Very nice. Now, let's move on to the next question. How does the rain help the seeds inside the earth? What does it do with those seeds which were lying hidden in the earth? It provides life and water to those seeds and helps them in germinating. So the option C is the correct option. See, these options are a bit confusing. Provide life, provides water, so you can get confused. But it gives both the things to it, life and water, right? What does the word descend mean? So I made this word very clear to all of you. Descend means not falling down, fall down or come down, to wash, to hide. Yes, descend means fall down or come down. Ascend means move upwards. Right. What does regged or unregged mean? Last line of the poem. Yes. Noticed or unnoticed, enriched or not enriched, bothered or not bothered, all of the above. Yes, noticed or unnoticed. So option A is the correct option. Very nice. Now we come to the last MCQ. What does the phrase eternal I rise mean? And the options are, I do not rise. I rise continuously. I have never risen. All of the above. So, yes, eternal means something which keeps continuing. So, the option is very easy. I rise continuously. So, my dear learners, hope you all have understood and enjoyed the poem. In the next part of the poem, we'll be talking about the extracts and the questions related to them, and few short questions, and some of the long questions too, so that you have a clear understanding and you get prepared for the examinations. So, this is all for today, my dear learners. Now, you just have a small task to do. You have to like and subscribe to my channel. So, this is all for today. Bye bye and have a nice day.